Yeah, I am so upset. I feel a way. I feel a certain way. Today at the hospital, man, we just experienced just straight disrespect. The staff flat out lied to my face and denied me access to see my dad. And that ain't cool. So my dad was admitted into the hospital on Sunday. I took him to the hospital because he was having some issues, just really weak and just wasn't being his normal self. So of course they check him out, and he was in AFib. He has, other things going on, so he gets admitted. So my dad is 82. So we've been going to the hospital to see him ever since. He was admitted on Sunday. Today's Wednesday, so we've been there every day. If I couldn't get there every day, my mother went or my niece went. So this morning, so because of COVID, let me back up. Because of COVID, the way they're doing visiting hours is they're breaking them up in increments. So visiting hours is from like 8 to 11 or like 8 to noon, and then after that is 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. So I gets there at 8 o'clock because I'm bringing him clean clothes to come home in, and just, his own deodorant, toothpaste, his own hygiene kit instead of using the hospital's hygiene kit. So I get there at 8 o'clock because, for one, I have an appointment to go to myself at 10:30. I have physical therapy that I have to go to. So when I get there, this particular hospital, they're doing rehab. So there's only one entrance into the hospital, and that's through the emergency. So you have to go through the emergency room and check in with the staff there, which is charge nurse, security staff. They're all at the desk. So you check in and you get your bracelet, and you get a sticker with your name on it, a visitor's pass. So they tell me when I get there, who you visiting? Tell them my dad's name, the floor. What's his room number? 205. Oh, this is what they tell me. Second floor can't have visitors today. And I'm like, huh? Why not? Oh, because we have to take precautions, because of COVID and everything. Second floor is not having visitors today, so come back tomorrow. I was like, huh? That don't make sense. And then he says, well, if he's having a procedure done and they move him to another floor, then you could come and visit him. I said, he's not having a procedure done. He's been on the second floor since he's got here, and I have clothes for him that he needs. He proceeds to tell me, you could leave the clothes here and I'll put a tag on them and make sure he gets them. How about no? I said, well, okay, you can call somebody from on the second floor to come downstairs and get the bag. Then he tells me he's already got a visitor in there, and we accidentally let her go through, and we're going to ask that she comes down now. I said, he's got a visitor in there already? As he was saying that, my phone rings. So unbeknownst to me, my niece is already in there because my dad had some money in his pocket. So my mother sent my niece up there. She was like, go up there and get Willie's money out that pocket because it went in his wallet. So my niece is up there already in the room visiting. She did the same procedure I did. Go through emergency, check in, get the bracelet, the sticker, the badge, and all that. You let her through. But now here I come. And now all of a sudden, no visitors. Okay, so I'm still not suspect. I'm still not thinking anything's wrong because, okay, it's COVID, different hospitals have different procedures. I work in a hospital myself, so okay, I get it. I'm not suspecting anything, but I'm a little mad because, okay, you tell me I can't come in, but my niece is already up there. Okay, so I call my niece and I'm like, I'm trying to call my niece and tell one of the nurses to come down with you so they can get this bag, his clothes, and take him back up there. But she was like, I'm already downstairs. No sooner than I'm telling her to tell the nurse to come down, my niece comes out the door. And I'm like, what's going on? When did all this happen? No visitors? When did this happen? And she's like, I don't know, but it's some real funny style going on. And I'm like, I mean, it's COVID. What do you mean? She was like, well, when I got here, she said that rude ass nurse over there behind that desk was real funky with me. And she said, I had my niece, she said, I had my mask on and it had fell to like right here. And she said, the nurse told her, you know, can you pull your mask up? And she said it real nasty. And my niece didn't say anything. She just was like, yeah, sure, no problem. But she was real nasty with my niece and real rude. This nurse and the security staff, unbeknownst to me, I didn't know it. They weren't really nasty with me, but they was like just, kind of, no visitors today, that type of deal. So I'm like, whatever. So my niece had to jet out, she had to go to work herself. So one of the nurses comes down and she gets his bag. And I'm telling her, make sure you tell my daddy that, I'm here. I came to see him because he would be mad if he would have thought that I wouldn't have came and visited. She was like, yeah, I'll make sure I tell him. I'm like, he's got this, that, and that in the bag. She's like, okay. And I'm like, and his glasses are lost. Nobody can find his glasses. She's like, okay, we'll get that. So she's giving me this look, but I ain't catching on. I'm just like, maybe she's pissed because she had to come downstairs and get the bag. I ain't thinking none of it. So I leave the bag with the nurse and I go on about my way, go to my PT. As I'm leaving PT, 2 hours later, my niece calls me back and she was like, I told you someone, right? And I'm like, what are you talking about? She said she called back up there because she wasn't gonna let it go. It just wasn't sitting right in her spirit. She called back up there to the second floor and asked them about these visiting hours. How about they was like, no. We didn't tell those people down in the emergency department that second floor couldn't have visitors. They are lying. I like to fell out when she told me them folks down there in ER was lying. You mean to tell me they straight up finessed a lie? They straight up lied. And then I'm like, but why? What's the reason? What they lie for? And she was like, because they was being real nasty to me before you got there. She was like, the nurse was talking crazy. Well, not talking crazy, but just like not, treating her, just being rude for no apparent reason because her mask slipped down. So I'm like, so they really flat out lied. And so this particular hospital has a reputation for being on bullshit, straight buck shit. They do some crazy stuff. I have a story to tell about this particular hospital, but I'm not gonna go into it right now. This is gonna be probably for another story time video. But I'll give you a little hint. 6 years ago, I had a baby boy, my last child. They called the CPS people on me while I was in the hospital. Try not to send me home. I don't do drugs. I don't do crack, smack. I don't do none of that. But this particular hospital, garbage. But yeah, that I'm gonna save that for another video. So my dad got released today. So this is in my head all for the rest of the day now that they lied. They really denied me access to go up to see my father. And I'm just like, why? What was the reason? I just, I can't get over it. So doctor calls me and lets me know, hey, your dad's going to be released today. Okay, I'll be there. He's being released, but it's not the 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. hours, but, it's no issue. They'll bring him down. So I'm waiting. I go I go to the same entrance through the emergency. The same people are there because, mind you, when you work in a hospital, you work 12-hour shifts. So they still there, stank look on their face, been there all day, mad and upset for whatever reason. And I don't check in because I don't need to check in. I just go right past everybody that's in line, waiting to be seen by, in the ER. And I just sit on down. So I'm sitting and I'm waiting. So finally I see them bringing my dad down. The same nurse who came and got the bag at 8 o'clock in the morning is the same one that brought him down. She's a black female. And I spoke with her. I said, hey, what was the issue that was going on where, no visitors were allowed? She tells me, she said, honey, she said that was a lie. She said, them folks over there have been getting complained on for years. She said they are nasty, they are rude, they are racist, they treat people bad, they just don't care, and they be always on some dumb shit. And she said they're forever getting complaints, always getting complaints. I said, nothing's being done about it. She said, they still here. She said, and it's just not those three that's right there. She said, it's a rotating cycle. One shift leave, one shift comes on. The other next shift, it's just a rotating cycle, just a rotating shifts. All of them on bullshit. And I was like, wow. I said, yeah, they really told me that I couldn't come up. She was like, yeah. She said, I did not understand why I had to come down and get a bag when they could have just let you up. And I was like, well, what about the nurses upstairs? She said, let me tell you something. She said, I work here. Oh, excuse me. She said, I work here, and every day it's a struggle to do the right thing and walk on the right path. She said, because we are faced with so much prejudice up here and so much just negativity. She said, but I love my job and I love what I do. And she was like, I just gotta stay prayed up and don't let these people get to me. She said, because they be on some bullshit. And she said, and I just want to let you know that ever since your dad has been here, oh, trust and believe, we had his back. She said, because I have seen firsthand some of these nurses treat some of these African American people like shit. Won't give them the best care, won't do certain things for him, deny him certain things. She said, but you best believe this, we had his back. She said, me and my friend, we looked out for him. She's like, we helped him got dressed this morning, we washed, we fed him, we did everything. We did everything for him. And I was, that really touched my heart. I felt so good to know that, they was there when I couldn't be there to watch over my father. But I also felt sad because I felt like, wow, it's good that they was there to do that for my father. What about the days when they ain't there and somebody else's mother or father or grandparent comes in there and just being mistreated, all because of this, all because of the color of their skin? And that's not right. That's not right. That is so sad. And it's like, they just treat, you treating these patients unfairly because you have hate filled and you just got hate in you. They have hate in their heart, all because of the color of the skin. It is just, it hurts my heart. It hurts my heart that we're living in 2020 and this is still going on. And I don't know. This is just something that we're just gonna have to. We got to learn to deal with it and got to come to terms. I don't believe this racism thing will ever end. It will never end, Racists breeding, baby racists. And baby racists grow up to be grown racists, just a cycle. Keeps going, keeps going, keeps going. But it's sad. It's really sad. And while I was waiting down there in the emergency room, a girl had came from the doors where they, in the triage area. She came busting through the door. She was a black girl. And she went over to the desk, to the security and to the nurses who, been giving people hell all day, I'm assuming. And she's like, she said, I need a phone number to whoever is over y'all, this department. And they looked up from their phones and was like, what? She said, I need a phone number and a name or somebody because I have a complaint. Don't you know that this security guard, he says to her, you got a smartphone, Google it. She looked at me. I shook my head. I said, just nasty, cold-blooded, nasty. And she was like, nah, you gonna give me that number because I have a complaint. And he looked at her. He said, I don't have to give you nothing. She said, what is your name? He looked at her once again. He said, I don't have to give you my name. He said, and these are his words verbatim. He said, you coming in here acting all trifling, I don't have to give you nothing. She about lost it. I stood back and my mouth was just open. Like, did he just really call her trifling? And, she was talking loud and she was, rah-rah and this and that and then, this and that. Because whoever she was with, I guess her boyfriend, he was back in triage being treated, but I don't know what was going on back there. But she was like, my boyfriend is here and he needs treatment. He needs treatment. And they putting him in handcuffs because I did see another set of security like behind the double doors, and you could tell it was like a scuffle going on behind the doors, but I don't know what's going on back there. And whatever was going on back there in the triage area made her upset to where she was coming out, and she wanted to not only complain about the treatment and the care that her boyfriend was getting behind them double doors, but also the treatment that she was receiving from the staff behind the charge desk. I'm just lost for words. I really am. Because let me tell you something. While I hate that he called my sister trifling, honey, had he said that to me, if you hadn't come up here acting all trifling, I'm gonna show you trifling, and I wasn't gonna get rah and in his face and this and that, because that's what they want you to do. Because you'll never put me in cuffs and have me going down to Marion County Jail because I got rah with you in the ER department. Nah, baby. That phone number that my sister was looking for, I would have found it. Matter of fact, I already know it, but I would have found it, and it would have been a situation happening. And I don't know her outcome, and I wish I could have stayed there to help her. But like I said, I was waiting to get my daddy up out of there because, them folks ain't right. Not right at all. But I say all that, it's just sad. It is really sad, People are suffering all over the world. People are sick. People are dying. And, people who are sick, they go to the very place where they expect to get, cured, get treatment, get care. And when they get there, they're being treated unfairly. They're being denied, proper care. All because of this. All because of the color of their skin. And it's maddening. That's sick. That's sick. What happened to the Hippocratic oath, first do no harm, these younger people, I ain't gonna say all, but some get into nursing just for a paycheck. They have no compassion. They have no compassion. Not at all. They don't care. And then these people are coming in there. And you guys, we look to y'all to, oh, help me. I'm sick. Oh, do this. And you just being met with hate because you prejudice. It's just sickening. So, I just encourage everybody, to be proactive when it comes to your health. You go to a hospital or you to your doctor. If you feel you're not being treated fairly, speak up. Do something about it. Ask questions. Get second opinions. You have a procedure done, your doctor don't tell you what's going on, You make him tell you, you know. I got plenty of stories of me being treated unfairly at hospitals and doctors' offices. Plenty. But like I said, I'll save that for another story. But I'm gonna get off here. What I want to do before I leave is, so I do these 1-minute devotions, prayers from the heart. And it's daily 1-minute devotions, and it's, they're dated. They're dated. And it's just ironic that today is November the 11th. And my daily affirmation and my little book. And this is not a coincidence. We know who did this. When I'm prejudiced, November 11th. So I'm going to read it before I go. When I'm prejudiced, all who have been united with Christ in baptism have been made like him. There is no longer Jew or Gentile, slave or free, male or female, for you all are Christians. You are all one in Christ. Galatians 3:27-28. And then it says, Lord, help me to see clearly those things that keep me bound to unfounded and unnecessary prejudice stories that I've told myself or that I somehow embraced as I was growing up, but stories that are simply not true. Help me to see people regardless of culture or creed as your people. Help me to look for Jesus in each face I see and to offer the love of Christ to all people and all friends and neighbors. Help me to embrace the differences in each of us, but to realize we are more alike than different and that we all have the same Father. Amen. And then there's a quote. When we want the facts to fit the preconceptions, when they don't, it's easier to ignore the facts than to change the preconceptions. Jessamine West. So that's all I have for today, but I just felt like getting on here and venting because that situation just really bummed me out. But I feel a lot better now. So that's all. Peace.